a much more conciliatory tone, actually, I feel like, from Rouhani, that seems like they'll stay in the deal. What's your base case for today?
Our base case for today is that the president is going to say something, that he's going to move in a certain direction, that he's ready to reimpose sanctions. He might not recertify that they're in compliance, but I think he's going to probably give the Europeans a chance to step up what they've already offered in terms of tightening sanctions related to the things that were left out of the agreement, namely the ballistic missiles that Iran is developing, also the use of terrorist financing in the region. He's almost certainly going to push for new sanctions on companies owned by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, new sanctions on Hezbollah, and I think it's going to be a muddle moving in a positive direction for him.
So as we've seen, he comes out of the gate very aggressive and then walks it back, and it's more a negotiation. So walk me forward then 120 days later when the next sanction waiver comes up.
Well, we've got 3 sanction waivers in 120 days. They're not quite as critical as this one. This one is the one that deals with the banking system, that prevents payments through the U.S. banking system that go to the Central Bank of Iran. These are the ones that could really cripple Iranian exports. They would, and it depends on how fast he moves. Is he going to? He could potentially say that he's actually going to implement those sanctions immediately. He could disrupt, in that case, 700, 800, or 900,000 barrels a day of Iranian crude. Is he going to do that just before the gasoline season, when gasoline prices are already up by 30%?
Before the midterms?
Is he going to really crash the nuclear agreement some days before he's going to meet with Mr. Kim of North Korea? So I think the likelihood is that he's going to come out strong, and he says the Europeans are stepping up to the table and we've got to do more, and we're going to give them X number of days, 120, 180, to get a tighter grip on whatever sanctions they offered on the Iranian missile program, plus Hezbollah and the Revolutionary Guard.
So quite possibly this plays well into the summer, if not through the summer, if it goes that way. But let's assume for the moment that he actually does take action to cut back significantly on Iranian oil production. Can't the Saudis just turn a spigot and replace all that?
Sure, they can, and they're facing disruptive risk around the world. They're sticking to the story that the world is not just balanced yet, but this would certainly turn it into imbalance. So yeah, OPEC could meet and they could decide that we're going to open the spigots, just as the president could say we're doing X, Y, and Z, and we're going to release oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
But in that world, Saudi Arabia wins both ways. They do some damage to their rival, Iran, that they're in a bitter fight with, and they get to sell more oil and bring in more money. That's a good deal for the Saudis, isn't it?
Yeah, the Saudis are interested in bringing in more money, whether it comes through the price mechanism or it comes through higher volume. Yeah.